In this first session, you're going to be looking at how to engage young people with the idea of loss or understanding what loss is. It's going to be really an opportunity to open up conversation, to introduce some ideas to young people that maybe they haven't considered as a loss before. The first thing to realise, I think, that's really important is you are not a young person's counsellor. Maybe you would see yourself as a mentor, but most importantly of all, you're a Girls Brigade leader. You're creating an environment in which they can have conversation, be challenged by what they think, and support each other. So this first section is really all about just helping that conversation start. Remember, you're not an expert. You don't have to know all the answers. All you need to do is create a safe environment where they can talk openly. And this first part is really just about starting that. Now, loss is a really broad subject, and I think it's worth just looking at some descriptions of what loss is to start with. Because quite often we think bereavement, we think family separation, but actually loss is so much bigger. Loss is the state of being without something. We can lose our keys, we can lose a childhood teddy, we can also have a loss of a person. We can have a loss of a family, but they're all losses. And again, how we experience those losses will determine what we do, will determine our behaviour and our thoughts and our emotions. So then we look at grief. So grief is the sorrow that we feel following the loss. And the bereavement, when we look at bereavement, there's a period of mourning following the loss. And these words are different: loss, grief, and bereavement. And what we're trying to do today is understand loss. We're trying to understand how that affects us. But first of all, we've got to look at what loss is. So what you're going to do is draw out a gingerbread girl, a gingerbread man, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to create a person. Now, what's really important here is that you do not focus one person that you know or project one person that you know onto this person that you've created. We're looking at general ideas of loss. Now, young people will project their own ideas and their own experiences, and that's okay. But the trick is to not let one person dominate. The trick is to draw everyone in and get everyone's idea. So, for example, we might have bereavement and we might have family separation. And once you've drawn the person on your bit of flip chart paper, start writing ideas around the outside. So what might that be? Well, I've talked about loss of a teddy bear. That can be really significant if it was given to you at the age of 3. And I know somebody who was in their 30s and their teddy bear got destroyed. And it was the most personal thing that connected them with their childhood. And so for them it was a really important loss. So let's not dismiss anything that a young person says. Bereavement, family separation, yes. But beyond that, separation of best friends when somebody moves away. The moving from one house to another house. There's a change there. And what's left? What have they left behind? Maybe security, familiarity. And within that, how do they experience that? Has it sent them to levels of anxiety? Has it given them a sense of being lost in the new home? It's really important that we don't dismiss what we see as maybe something even more positive that they've moved to. I've worked with a young person who's moved in, mum and dad had separated, dad had then moved in with a new family, and over several months and even years this family combined, and it was wonderful. The new mum loved him, he still had contact with his previous mum, and everything was really good from the outside. But actually what this young person lost more than anything was solo contact time with his dad. He was now sharing dad and his home with new people. Everyone on the outside thought that this was the best thing. But actually what the young person was experiencing was a loss of space. It's really simple. But he didn't know how to deal with that. So as you look at what these things, these losses are, just know that young people experience a loss of things from all sorts of areas of their life. For me, the biggest time I cried following my father's death was about 5-6 years later, when I lost the wallet that he had left me. No, it wasn't my dad that I was grieving, but it was the connection that I had to him. Nobody knew that that wallet was that significant to me, but it was. And I expect each and every one of us may have items or memories or photographs that we hold on to. But when they are lost, it can bring up so much. So again, be careful not to dismiss, but to allow young people opportunity to just say whatever is on their heart and create an environment where they can do that.